Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital spoilers. Nathan chooses a side between Nina and Willow. Fans won't believe it. General Hospital, GH, spoilers tease that Nina Reeves, Cynthia Wattrow's brother, Nathan West, Ryan Pavey, meets her daughter Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, and has to pick a side. Nathan died before Willow came to town, but then again, Nina didn't know Willow was her daughter until Willow showed up. Nathan will be stunned to hear about Willow and Nellie Benson, Chloe Lanier, being fraternal twins. Nathan didn't die. In the end, Nathan will be pleased that Nina's destiny has been fulfilled. But he will also learn about Nina and Willow's feud and how despicable Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, plays a part in their estrangement. Drew slept with Willow and Nina, and the truth was kept from Willow. As a result, she left him at the altar in a sizzling wedding day that went kaput. Nathan is a good guy and will want to help Nina and Willow reconcile. Willow and Nina need to squash beef. Drew is still controlling Willow and Nina wants nothing to do with him. After someone shot him, both Nina and Willow became suspects. The whole situation is a dumpster fire, and diplomatic Nathan will have his work cut out for him while he waits for Maxie Joan, Kirsten Storms, to come out of her coma. For her part, Willow will be shocked to discover that Nina's brother is alive. Can Willow and Nina make up? To be clear, Nina and Nathan are biological cousins, but they were raised as siblings and think of each other that way, which is all that matters. Former detective Nathan is protective of Nina and will not like how Willow's treating Nina. Will he attack her or realize that Drew's the real problem? No one has been able to get through to Willow, but maybe someone with a fresh perspective will be able to. Nathan was dead for 7 years, so he has not been influenced in his opinion about Drew. He might be able to urge Willow to accept Nina and dump the cad. Nathan will be sympathetic to Nina, but we can't see him rejecting Willow. We predict that Nathan will play the role of peacemaker for Willow and Nina. Red-hot General Hospital spoilers hint that Nathan has a lot to say about Nina and Willow's situation, and we will bring you all the deets as they emerge. Port Charles has never been short on drama, but the latest twists promise to shock even the most seasoned General Hospital fans. After waking up from years in limbo, Nathan West has found himself smack in the middle of a storm he never saw coming, one that pits his beloved sister Nina Reeves against the very woman who once stood on the opposite side of every line Nina drew, Willow Tate Corinthos. And in an unexpected turn, Nathan is about to make a choice that will have ripple effects across the canvas. Nathan's return brings old wounds to the surface. When Nathan first opened his eyes in a sterile hospital bed, the world seemed foreign. Time had passed without him, leaving scars and secrets in its wake. He quickly realized that the family ties he once held dear had only grown more complicated. Nina, once his fiercely protective sister, has spiraled down a path of obsession and grudges, most of which are aimed squarely at Willow. Nathan's instinct has always been to defend Nina. After all, she raised him in her heart long before the truth of their sibling bond was revealed. But as he started to catch up on everything that's unfolded during his absence, the lies Nina told about Willow's illness, the custody wars, the manipulations against Carly and Drew, Nathan's unwavering loyalty has begun to fracture. And then came Willow. Willow's quiet strength moves Nathan. Nathan met Willow by chance at GH. What began as a simple exchange, a nurse offering updates about his recovery, became something deeper. Willow's calm, empathetic presence struck a chord in Nathan. Here was a woman who had been through the fire, cancer, betrayal, the war with Nina, the heartbreak of nearly losing her children. And yet, she carried herself with grace, extending compassion where others might have clung to bitterness. For Nathan, it was disarming. Nina's stories had always painted Willow as cruel, ungrateful, and cold. But face to face, Nathan saw none of that. Instead, he saw a survivor. And when Willow spoke about her complicated history with Nina, Nathan began to hear the cracks in his sister's narrative. He couldn't ignore that Nina had crossed lines, withheld life-saving truths, and sought revenge when forgiveness could have healed wounds. Desperation hits new heights. Meanwhile, Nina has been unraveling. Haunted by her deteriorating relationships, with Sonny, with Willow, even with her grandchildren, she's clung to Nathan as her last anchor. To Nina, his return is divine justice. She believes Nathan will stand by her no matter what, shielding her from the backlash of her own actions. In private, Nina pours her heart out, insisting that Willow has turned everyone against her. "You're my brother," she pleads. "You're all I have left. You can't betray me." Her desperation is palpable, almost suffocating. But what Nina doesn't realize is that her constant justifications are only widening the gap between her and Nathan. The Corinthos connection. Nathan's dilemma grows even murkier when he learns about Willow's marriage to Michael Corinthos and her ties to the Corinthos family. Nathan has seen firsthand how Sunny's orbit consumes people, pulling them into chaos. Aligning with Willow could mean entangling himself with the most powerful family in Port Charles. Aligning with Nina, however, could mean turning a blind eye to lies and manipulations he doesn't condone. For Nathan, the decision isn't just about family anymore. It's about what kind of man he wants to be now that fate has given him a second chance. The explosive confrontation. The turning point comes during a tense family dinner at the Courtemain mansion. Michael and Willow extend a reluctant invitation to Nathan, hoping to gauge where his loyalties lie. Nina, however, shows up uninvited, determined to prove she still has a place in her brother's life. What follows is a verbal explosion. Nina accuses Willow of poisoning Nathan against her, while Willow, tired of turning the other cheek, fires back with cold hard facts. Nina's lies about her bone marrow donor, her interference in Michael's business, her threats against Drew. All eyes turn to Nathan. The room falls silent. And then, in a moment that shocks everyone, especially Nina, Nathan sides with Willow. "I love you, Nina," he says, voice firm but sorrowful. "But you've crossed too many lines. You've hurt people who didn't deserve it. I can't defend what you've done, not anymore." Willow's right. You need to take responsibility before you lose everything. The words land like a thunderclap. Nina's face crumbles, disbelief etched in every line. For once, she can't manipulate her way out. Fallout and future shockwaves. Nathan's choice is a devastating blow to Nina. For years, she's clung to the idea that family would always rally to her side. Now, even her most loyal defender has drawn a boundary. But for Willow, Nathan's decision is a lifeline. For the first time, someone close to Nina is willing to validate her truth. She thanks Nathan quietly, acknowledging how difficult the choice was. In that moment, a fragile alliance is formed, one that could shift the balance of power in Port Charles. The fallout, however, is far from over. Nina, feeling cornered, may spiral even further. Her obsession with holding onto family could push her to make reckless moves, perhaps even targeting Willow in ways that cross into dangerous territory. And with Nathan now tied to Willow, he could find himself pulled into a war he never intended to fight. Meanwhile, the Corinthos family is already whispering about how Nathan's presence could change the landscape. Some wonder if Nathan could become a protector for Willow, someone who stands beside her as she faces whatever Nina does next. Others fear his bond with Nina, fractured though it may be, could still lead to betrayal. Fans won't believe it. For longtime viewers, Nathan's choice is nothing short of shocking. This is a man who once lived and died for his sister's happiness, who stood by Nina through every scandal and breakdown. To see him choose Willow, the woman Nina despises most, marks a turning point not only for his character but for the show as a whole. The writers are clearly setting the stage for an epic family battle. Nina's desperation versus Nathan's redemption, Willow's resilience against years of manipulation, and a town caught in the crossfire. In true General Hospital fashion, the question lingers. Will Nathan's decision unite or destroy? Because in Port Charles, choosing a side is never the end of the story. It's only the beginning.